We'll now create an editor to allow users to enter new notes, add a new dashboard, and call this Business Notes Editor. We'll tick Always on top so that the note editor always remains at the front of the screen. Right-click and create a new form. We'll call this form Add Note Form. Save these changes, and back on the repository, we need to open up the analysis models. Display the context analysis model and select the stream Business Notes. Here, we'll need to drag across the Note attribute onto our new dashboard. Select the outer area and we'll set the width to be 100% and set it to be from 0 pixels from the top and 45 pixels from the bottom. This will leave us space for a footer. We're now going to edit some of the element details for this dashboard. Right-click and select Show Element Details. Give the element a logical name. We're now going to set up a filter which will stop any of the existing information from showing and only allow users to enter data. Add a filter and give this the name Hide Notes. Essentially, the filter will not return anything, so select UID and set that equal to -1, as we know this will never return any data. Set this to an expression and save your changes. We now need to add some attributes that will be programmatically populated. Drag across UID, right-click and select Find in Explorer. Locate the UID and set the style Hidden. Save your changes and repeat this step for Business UID. From the basic component palette, we're going to add an area to the bottom of our dashboard. Drag this across without holding Shift to add a new area. Find it in the Explorer and we'll set its properties. It should be named Add Note Footer. We'll set the background colour to the grey colour that we've been using. We'll set the direction to row. Justify to end so that it ends on the right hand side and align it to the centre of that row. Finally, set the width to 100%, the height to 45 pixels, and we'll set it 0 pixels from the bottom, in much the same way we've used for the previous footers. Tick Prevent Dragging and save your changes. We'll now add an action button to our footer. Remember to hold Shift and drag your action button onto the footer. Select the button and we'll call it Insert Note. We'll also set the action type to Insert to indicate that we're adding a new item. Next, we'll open up the Business Notes stream configuration. Here we're going to add a custom action that we'll use on our button. Scroll down to the Action section and add a new button. We'll call this Add Note Custom Action and give it a display name of Add Note. We're going to need to use the Include Previous Context Parameters option. We'll explain this in more detail later on. Under the Stream Item Action rules, add a new rule. Add a new action and call this Add Note Action. We'll set this to be an update. We'll copy the values by name, but we'll add some manual overrides. Select the note, the user and the business UID and drag those into the attributes to update. Remove the expression and add now followed by round brackets. For the user, we'll set the expression to _user.name. This is a system variable that will allow us to access the username. And we'll set the business UID to _context.businessUID. We'll set this context variable later on. Save all of your changes and refresh the stream item actions. We'll also set on the completion to close the dashboard. We'll change the label on our button to be Insert. We'll now add another custom action. This will be used to open up our new dashboard. Against Business Notes, go to its Action section and add a new action. We'll call this Open Add Note. And we'll give it a display name of plus. Under the context parameters, as this will be the button that opens up the dashboard, we need to set the context parameter here. We'll call this Business UID, and the expression will be the name of the element where we're going to retrieve the value, in our case businesses, followed by the attribute name, .uid. Save your changes and go down to the action completion, and we'll tell it to open new dashboard. Select the Business Notes editor and drag that into the dashboard rules and save your changes. Back on the Businesses dashboard, we're going to add an area to our Notes section. We'll call this Notes Footer, and this is where we'll add our action button to open our new editor. Set the background colour to grey, remove the auto size. We'll set the direction to row, justify it to the right with flex end, and set it to the centre. We'll set the height to 45 pixels. This matches the footers that we've used previously. Save your changes, and now we'll add an action button. Select the action button. Call this Open Add Note. And from the Actions drop down, select our opening action. Open Add Note. We'll make this button square, so we'll set the width to 35 pixels. Finally, let's update the label. Select the label and change the display text to plus. Save your changes and move into app mode to test your new dashboard. You should be able to add notes and they'll appear next to the business.